So I have a look. I was asking people to post their favorite picture of her, and I didn't see anything. I ain't seen nothing posted. Because I'm going to choose one of the pictures. Y'all put it here. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to try to work from. I went and got All About Strobe. It's called Glam Chick, and this is a highlighter palette right here. And I have the contour and stuff in here. There's another glam palette. I got these from Five Below. I found the Unicorn Vibe from Five Below. It is also a highlighter, so I'm going to see which one works best. I'm going to use these. And then I have the LA Colors Contour. I'm going to see how it does. And then I have the Professional Mineral eyeshadows that I'm going to use also for a little contour. And then, of course, the Nika, the Perfect 40 colors right here to do her eyes. And this right here called, this eyeshadow here, you can use it wet or dry. So looking at what I see here, it looks like to me it is gold or her skin complexion. So I'm going to go right into putting on the let's see what contour my eyebrows, my eyes here. Okay, let's see. Which one am I going to use? Here. And that eyebrows about the same, look like in this picture here. It looks like the same. Okay. Let me get this. Let me a new mirror. So, how was y'all weekend? I am using, I don't know what color, don't say the color, but I'm going into here, this color here, okay, to kind of trim my eyebrow with this. The eyebrows are thin. I told y'all I'll be coming to Queen Rachel's Creation page to do my looks now. The Who Am I and stuff. You see me now? You must see me later. The music I'm playing is by Frederick Yarnett, Monica. I can play this. Let's see. This doesn't match my skin. I ain't tell this up there. Please share this video with your group. I gotta add some features to me I don't have. Okay. She got a mode, but I don't see it up here. So I take on what else? Okay, what else? I gotta emphasize the lips. I changed my lips. Go in. And that. Trying to make sure I got everybody likes, invites, and check them all. Okay. Okay. Go back to my page. Okay. We'll deal with this and come back to that. Let me get my foundation. Walmart don't carry my foundation. I'm gonna turn it as this point. Yeah. Poke back this piece. Alright, so what I'm gonna do on that time, I'm gonna go ahead and play the video. Well, actually, is the tribute towards her, my playlist from YouTube. I own no rights to.
Aretha Franklin, the Queen of Soul, passed away in her home on August 16th, 2018.
Yeah, y'all can hear
at 76 years old after a quiet battle with pancreatic cancer. Franklin's music career spanned nearly 6 decades and set innumerable records. The first woman inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Franklin sold more than 75 million records and was nominated for 44 Grammy Awards, taking home 18 of them. But her accomplishments don't stop there. At 52 years old, Franklin became the then youngest person to earn a Kennedy Center honor, and in 2005, President George W. Bush honored her with the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Obviously, there are plenty of reasons to RESPECT Aretha Franklin, but here's what you may not know about the woman Rolling Stone praised as the greatest singer of all time. Ties to Martin Luther King Jr. Aretha Franklin's father, C.L. Franklin, was among the most famous preachers of his time, complete with recorded sermons and his own radio show. According to The New Yorker, Aretha was surrounded by music and film legends growing up, including Nat King Cole, Della Reese, Duke Ellington, Smokey Robinson, and Diana Ross. In addition to the era's greatest entertainers, C.L. was also close with one of the most famous and influential men of all time, Martin Luther King Jr. Aretha even went on tour with the father of the civil rights movement and sang at his funeral after his assassination. Trials and Tribulations. In Respect, a biography of Aretha Franklin by David Ritz, the author reveals that the singer got pregnant when she was just 12 years old. Not long after giving birth, Franklin became pregnant again, this time with a man named Edward Jordan, described only as a player in the book. Both children kept Franklin's last name and were raised in the Franklin family home. At age 19, Aretha Franklin married Ted White, a man with a highly controversial reputation who was reportedly abusive to the superstar songstress. In fact, Franklin's close friend Ruth Bowen claimed that Franklin was so miserable in her marriage to White that she turned to food, cigarettes, and alcohol. Thankfully, the star reportedly got sober in the 1980s and quit smoking cigarettes in the 1990s. Legendary diva demands. Diva is as diva does. Aretha Franklin reportedly wouldn't get on stage for any reason unless she was paid a cool $25,000 up front in cold, hard cash. And that's only a small portion of what she got paid for performance. The Smoking Gun reported this to be the reason for Franklin always lugging around a giant purse, sometimes even on stage. But that's not all. Franklin's tour writer reportedly required the air conditioning in each venue to be turned off an hour before her arrival, 5-star hotel accommodations for her and her entourage that did not exceed the 5th floor, and canapes in her dressing room. But the best of all her demands, Franklin had a special clause in her rider specifying that she would not perform to a segregated audience. Now that's a diva demand worth celebrating. She hated flying. Franklin was terrified of flying after a turbulent trip on a small aircraft in the early 1980s. According to Time, she didn't fly for decades following the incident. As a result, she even turned down an offer to perform for the Queen of England to avoid the flight overseas. However, in 2016, Franklin told The New Yorker that she was taking anxious flyer classes and planning to take a short flight to get adjusted to the idea once again. She'd reportedly grown sick and tired of long trips in a tour bus, noting a particularly grueling ride from her Detroit area home to Los Angeles. Said Franklin of the insufferably long road trip, "That one just wore me out. It's a nice bus, but it took days, and I'm thinking about making the flight from Detroit to Chicago. Baby steps." The Queen of Shade. Mariah Carey is famous for her pipes and her epic shade, but damn, Aretha Franklin could hold a grudge better than anyone. In April 2017, 5 years after Whitney Houston's death, Franklin lashed out at Dionne Warwick via the Associated Press because she was furious that Warwick had told the public that Franklin was Houston's godmother. Franklin said that was a lie. Said Franklin, "There's been so much going on around Houston. I didn't want to add anything to that, and I didn't want to be a part of that." When asked if she'd accept an apology from Warwick, she replied, "I don't care about her apology. At this point, it isn't about an apology, it's about libel. We've never been friends, and I don't think that Dionne has ever liked me." Franklin also subtly shaded Taylor Swift in a 2014 interview. When asked to share her thoughts about the country star turned pop sensation, Franklin didn't have much to say, at least not about her music.
Taylor Swift.
Okay, great gowns, beautiful gowns.
A beacon during hard times. Despite her many highly publicized accolades, perhaps the most powerful elements of Aretha Franklin's legacy are less tangible. For example, Franklin told NPR that veterans have confided that her music helped them endure the Vietnam War, saying, "On occasion, I hear that some of the songs helped them get through the service, and I'm delighted by that." Doug Bradley, co-author of We Gotta Get Out of This Place, the soundtrack of the Vietnam War, included Franklin's Chain of Fools among the list of top 10 Vietnam War songs, saying the tune, quote, took on special meaning in Vietnam. Some veterans related the track to the chain of command. Others said it helped them cope with the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr. According to Bradley, Franklin's voice was among the music that helped soldiers and veterans connect to each other and to life back home, and to cope with the complexities of the war they had been sent to fight. Though the incomparable Aretha Franklin has died, her voice will clearly continue to sustain others in countless ways for generations to come.
This is Larry London for the Voice of America, and it's not often that you.
This interview is in D.C.
Sitting across from you. Well, a legend, icon, a woman who has inspired millions all around the world. We'd like to welcome to the Voice of America in Washington, Queen Aretha Franklin.
Thank you so much.
It's wonderful to have you in our studios here in D.C., and I know you're on tour right now. I keep hearing the tour is going fantastic.
It's a kind of little mini tour. I don't go on real tours anymore, not extended tours. I mean that to say extended.
Let's see.
There, select. I call it Good Sense Touring.
And you're promoting a Christmas album, your first ever Christmas album.
Christmas album here in Washington. I was at Borders Books this afternoon, as you know, and it was just fabulous. The turnout was fabulous. And I signed a number of my Christmas albums produced by Tina Clark, myself, and one or two other producers who I'll talk to you about a little later. But it's my first ever Christmas album. It's exclusively in Borders and Walden Books. And I am just thrilled with it. I am really thrilled with it.
Now, what made you decide now to do a Christmas album at this point?
Well, because my contract expired with Jay. I decided not to renew with them. Clive wanted me to stay. I wanted to stay, but we just could not come to a meeting of the minds about certain things. So I decided to entertain some other offers that were made to me, and I decided to sign with one of the companies, and we decided to do this Christmas album because the chairman of the board, unfortunately Jerry Wexler at Atlantic, Clive Davis at Jay and Aretha, just never thought that a Christmas album was that important, and I always did. So now is the time to do it.
That's right. That's right. Coming up on the holiday season, and I know that faith has always been a very large part of your life. You grew up, your father was a reverend in his own church, and of course you sang gospel music when you first started.
That's right. I traveled with him for many years.
And you released a gospel album a few years back as well.
I did on the Chess label. That's right. When I was 14. A few years ago, not that long.
So, I mean, if you weren't making music, what do you think you'd be doing?
If I weren't making music, what would I be doing? Well, I had thought of being at Florence Nightingale. My mother was a nurse, and so I considered that. And executive secretary, I considered that. And a prima ballerina.
ballet.
She wanted to be a
That's
ballerina.
Yes, I took some
Y'all hear
classes in New York over at the on Madison Avenue, the Academy of Ballet. And Arthur Mitchell had some classes with myself, and he gave me some moves that I was having a little trouble with at the academy, and I learned them just like that.
It's wonderful. I'm glad that you did get into music. There's so many people who have been touched by your music over the years. I was looking, and you have 20 Grammys. That's just, it's unfathomable to have 20 Grammys
That
for
is
one person.
wonderful. It is wonderful. It's a wonderful feeling.
I mean, does any one stand out more than another in your mind? I mean, was there one in particular that...
No, they all just felt wonderful receiving each of them. Who is it? The Pink Panther. You know who I mean? The producer
Of the song?
of the Pink Panther.
Mancini?
Mancini has 24.
Well, but you're the queen.
All right.
You're all that matters.
Okay.
Aretha Franklin is our guest here on The Voice of America, and we were talking about her Christmas album, and I understand you play piano on the new Christmas album.
I do. I played on several cuts, and next year I'm going to invest more time in my piano. Everyone always tells me how much they enjoy my piano, so I'm going to invest more time in it. I went to New York this past summer in August. I stayed there all month, and I took some classical piano classes from a young lady who started her own school, who was a student of Juilliard, and that is the technique that I wanted, and so I've started. And you're going to hear a different piano from here on.
I'll tell you, you
The
know...
same and different.
Well, one of the most wonderful moments that I have in my life was watching you in 1998 on the Grammys, as far as music goes, to see you come on stage and at the last minute, I understand, fill in for Pavarotti, who is very ill. And I still, and I'm not kidding when I say this, I have in my iPod Nessun Dorma that you say, yes.
Wonderful.
And I listen every morning while I'm exercising to you. That inspires me.
Okay.
And that was, you inspired so many, and everybody gave you a standing ovation, and that was wonderful how you hit all the notes.
It was a wonderful
Right.
night. What a night. The two
Yeah.
standing ovations that night. What a night. I'll always remember that.
Well, you probably also have more standing ovations than anybody else in the industry, I'm sure, as well.
I wouldn't say that, but I've had a few.
And recently you were honored by NAACP with a Vanguard honor.
Yes, that's true.
The honors just keep coming in for you.
Wonderful. Mr. Julian Bond, a long-time civil rights man, wonderful man.
Now, I was asked to, one of our listeners, when I mentioned that you were going to be on, they wanted to know, because they're also from, like we are, from Detroit, and they said that there's a councilwoman there, Martha Reeves, who's in the music business, and she's now behind some proposal for artists to be paid for their music to be played on the radio. And that's a very big issue right now.
Artists do get paid for their music being played on the radio.
Okay.
You get mechanical rights.
Right, as composers and all.
Yes.
But as performers,
Okay.
a lot of the
Now that
artists...
I was not aware of. Okay.
So I didn't know if you knew that there.
As a performer, no, I wasn't aware of that. That must be kind of it's recent, right?
Yes, in the last year or two.
Okay.
And I know that Martha Reeves is behind that from Detroit, so I thought since we're both from Detroit, that I'd ask if you were involved in that.
I missed that one.
You missed that one. The album duets with the Queen that you put out last year, you worked with so many tremendously talented people from music today. A fabulous collection. How do you pick who you're going to perform with, who you're going to record with? Over the years, you've got George Michael and Elton John, and the list goes on. How do you pick these artists to collaborate with?
Well, a lot of times Clive would bring things to me. Sometimes the artists themselves will call, or it's someone that I would like to record with. So it can happen either one of those ways.
Is there anybody that you haven't worked with yet that you would still like to?
I would love to do something with Smokey.
Lean right in my
And
skin
love to do
on.
something with Stevie. And I very much wanted to do
That's how
something with
this
Oscar
is on
Peterson, but
her.
unfortunately he passed. God bless. And I'd love to do something with Herbie Hancock. And,
Ooh, that's one of my favorites.
I have a favorite
Hancock.
gentleman on the sax. His name escapes me
that
right
Try?
now, but he is so good. He
Now,
is
I need
so
to-
good.
get some of that
knows who he is.
black.
Well, there's tremendously talented sax players. Gerald Albright was one.
Yeah, Gerald Albright is terrific.
Yeah, there's a lot
Very
of-
good.
Now, of all the people you've worked with, do you have a favorite time or moment or song? It's hard to pick that.
It's, yeah.
So many babies.
There have been so many. It's hard. It would be hard to say.
Now, talking about babies, you have a couple of children who are music-oriented, musically oriented. Teddy, I went to school with.
Right.
Who
We were
performs
just
in your
talking
band?
about that. Right. Oak Park High.
Right.
Okay. And my other son, Kelf, is a producer on an album that's forthcoming out in the spring of '09. Aretha, A Woman Falling Out of Love. And Kelf did something on that album. Eddie is singing, and he travels with me. My other son, Eddie, he's a writer, and they are up until midnight and in the wee hours of the morning making tracks, and he and his musical partner. So everybody's in the game.
And you got your sons on the Christmas album.
Yes, and Eddie is also singing. That's right.
Well, that's
This
fantastic.
Christmas with me
That's
on
great.
the Christmas album, along with Silent Night and 14 Angels, something that I learned as a child and has stayed with me all of these years from the opera Hansel and Gretel. And there's so many good things on there, you just have to hear it.
Now, how do you pick the songs for a Christmas album? I mean, your career is 4 decades long, and now you decide, I'm going to do a Christmas album, and there's so many great Christmas songs. It must have been a difficult...
Well, I had to do the traditional things like Silent Night and Angels We Have Heard on High. That's my favorite. That is my favorite. And Ave Maria is on there. What is the other one? Hark the Herald Angels Sing. That's another one of my favorites. Those two I particularly just love. And the one with Eddie, my son, This Christmas. And Christmas Just Ain't Christmas Without the One You Love, the OJs. That was so terrific. That's every Christmas. That's the first record that's played.
I want to say hello to everybody
Wow.
that's
What are you going to be
watching.
doing this Christmas?
So I
What
can't
happened?
tell. I'm
Besides
seeing no
listening to the
comments.
OJs?
or nothing.
This Christmas, I'm going to play mine first and then play theirs, probably.
Now,
Ladies before gentlemen.
that's right. Always ladies first.
Yeah.
Queen first. And I understand, it's interesting to me to find out, I was told that you don't like airplanes. I don't like airplanes either. But yet, you're such a celebrity all around the world. How do you get to perform in
Well,
international?
now I have a custom bus, and I just go any and everywhere I want to, with the exception of over to Europe on my custom bus. Unfortunately, it's not one of those amphibious buses, but yeah, we're working on it. No, in a couple of weeks, I'm going to take my first flight in many years. A couple of weeks.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
I got a great support group, and after that, if I don't want to fly anymore, I won't.
Right.
I flew for 23 years.
Oh, so, I mean, as far as international touring, you must do limited dates then.
Yes.
And how do you get to those places? Because I get a lot of email for your music. I get from Japan, from Asia. We're on in Africa.
Okay, well, I haven't been to Europe since '83, and have not gone out of the States since '83. That's one of the reasons I want to do this flight in a couple of weeks, because I do want to go back to Europe very, very much. I'd love to go back to Paris. I would love to go back to London, and to many of the places that I did go when I was flying. And then to some of the places that I didn't get a chance to go, like Frankfurt, Germany, and Denmark, I didn't get a chance to go to. Israel, Abu Dhabi, places like that.
How about the Middle East, places where the troops are? I mean, I get a lot of email.
I would love to perform and sing for the troops. I hope that.
Looking like something. It's looking like
Hey,
something.
they're going to be asked now.
Okay,
They just heard about it.
I would love to. I would love to.
Now,
Okay, I gotta make
as
my
far as the audiences around the world, when you have performed, different places around the world, what's the feeling for you like when you're on stage in a country, perhaps like Japan? Probably been to Japan a number of times.
I have not been to Japan. No, never have.
Like
The flight it's a long way
Yeah,
to
15
Japan.
hours.
It's kind of like Rio was, about 15 hours as well. I was on my way to Rio at one point, and I was just really dreading the flight because it was so long. I didn't want to be in the air that long. And the promoter called and said he was going to reschedule, and I said, thank God. You know, I'd love to go to Rio, but it's just so far.
Now, when you are in a country performing where they don't speak English as a first language, and yet they know all the words to Aretha Franklin's music, how does that make you feel?
Wonderful. Many times they don't know the words in English or in their language, but they're enjoying it, and you can see it in their expressions and their movement. They're still enjoying it, so it just transcends the lyric, and it transcends the music.
And now you're touring with a full orchestra. 11-piece, I believe.
Well, I don't tour with a full orchestra. My concert, we have about 26 pieces. Yeah, carrying that many people, you will be broke. At this point in my career, you'd be broke for sure. No, I carry a rhythm section and 4 singers, and the usual staff, secretary, administrative assistant, security people, and that's about it.
Does it feel like it's been 4 decades for you? Do you ever wake up, sit and think, my God, it was just yesterday?
No. Has it been 4 decades?
Well, I can't believe it looking at you, how beautiful you look, but
thank
it's been, you know, I mean, it's talking the 60s, you know, respect and the first 2
Okay.
Grammys.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it's been that long.
It was overnight.
No. Well, I was just a type when I started.
So if you knew then what you know now, would you have still gotten into music? It's kind of a 2-part question. Would you still gotten into music, and would you do
no
anything
question
differently?
about it. No question about it.
Would you do anything
Music
differently?
was meant for me. Yeah.
So would you do anything differently?
I wouldn't be doing anything else except what I'm doing right now.
Because a lot of the artists, you know, that have gone through the different processes of the business know that it's such a business now. That when you got into it initially, it was more about creativity and about artistic freedom and expressionism, but now it's become a business.
brown.
It was for me, and it was a business for some other people when I got into it. It wasn't a business for me. It should have been, but I was quite naive and very naive at 17, and it was a business for some other people. And of course, after people pay their taxes with your money a few times, you wake up and you learn the business. You know, after getting the business a few times.
Well, you know, I mean, you have obviously made a significant impact into music. Is there one moment that stands out in your mind above other moments as being kind of a defining point for Aretha Franklin? You said, you know, that you were satisfied, that you finally looked in the mirror and said, you know,
I gotta do contouring. Now, let me see.
Well, to begin with, when you make the cover of the Jet, you've arrived for me. Coming up. Coming up. When you make the cover of the Jet, you have arrived. Yeah.
Well, you're you know, I guess Billboard named you one of the top 20 most influential artists of all time. Rolling Stone in 2004, you were in the top 5. You know, most influential, powerful artist of all time.
And of course, later on, as a more mature adult, you realize the importance of Billboard and Playboy and these other various industry magazines that are really important.
What kind of advice would you give to somebody who's starting now?
What kind of advice would I give to someone starting now? I would tell it's the same thing that it's always been.
I gotta do like
Get the
this.
diploma. Get the paper behind you. Because getting in the music industry is not a picnic. It's not going to be a picnic. A few artists become stars overnight and don't become a star. Always maintain your natural beauty, whatever it is you have to offer as a person. Maintain that. Don't become a star and you'll be all right.
Yeah, as hard as you've had to work for the...
And surround yourself with the best professional names in the industry. Accountants, lawyers, managers, but get someone who will work with you, because the expense aspect of the picture is so extreme, and it's so high. After you finish paying taxes, if you don't have someone working with you, you're going to wind up with absolutely nothing. You know, by the time you get through paying out what you have to in your expenses alone.
I keep hearing stories about people who hired managers
that ran off with the money and
Yeah.
absconded with the money.
Made some bad choices.
Yes,
you
accountants
trust
too.
people.
Accountants too.
Yeah.
So you have to be very careful who you select. Select a respected name, someone with a reputation for having integrity and principles.
Respect. There's that word.
Yeah.
RESPECT.
Yes.
Now, you were talking about, advice to newcomers and whatnot. You've had to work very hard to achieve the success that you have. So how do you feel when you sit and you watch American Idol? I mean, you sit and watch that show. I mean, what are the thoughts that come to your mind? Is it
I like
something
American
good?
Idol.
Do you?
It's one of my favorite shows. I like it. And especially since they were singing a lot of my music.
Tribute
I
to
particularly like it. Great
Aretha
show.
Franklin.
Great show. I thought it was kind of a little unfair, though, that some artists are made overnight on that show. Like overnight, they're stars and they're catapulted into an industry which they really don't know anything about. And I think that it's to their advantage and it's to their disadvantage. I really do like the way that I came along little by little, and I wasn't thrust into something before I could learn what it was I was doing, learn and hone my craft, slowly learn this industry without being shot right out into the stratosphere. You're a star, you're a superstar, and people are calling and they're pulling on you this way and pulling on you that way. You know, they some of them I'm sure don't know whether they're coming or going. Mm-hmm. So in a way, I thought was little unfair, and when you turn the coin over, I liked the way that I came along, and I took my time, and it was all very gradual and not overwhelming for me.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, now it seems like artists are a product, and there's not much longevity.
Yeah, yes.
In your day,
for some there is.
They cultivated the look and everything.
Yes, for some it will be, and for others it won't be.
And hopefully you'll be a mentor on New York. That would be a wonderful.
I'd love to, but I just can't seem to get a call from American Idol. I've called him a few times and they haven't returned my call.
Simon, what's the matter with you?
I don't know. He's been a nasty guy.
You got to call the Queen of Soul. Now, I wanted to know, when's the first time that you heard anybody call you the Queen of Soul? And I mean, that name has been with you.
I think out in Chicago, when I first started appearing at the Regal Theater, and during that time was when Barry was just launching Motown, and some of the other artists that performed with me during that time were the Contours, the Marvelettes, the Temptations, and we were only like 17, 18 years old, but we were all coming along together. And the gentleman that produced those shows, Purvis Fan, they used to call him Purvis Fan, the blues man, radio station WVON out of Chicago. Is the person that brought the crown on stage one evening and just announced that, but he announced it after the downbeat polls, the Playboy polls. I had won those polls.
Caught up.
Leonard Feather, who was a very noted critic at the time.
I don't know what color this blush is.
It was about the same time that he did that, and that's where that came from.
Now, I grew up in Detroit, and I remember on the radio it was Martha Jean the Queen. I used to call her and say, there's only one queen in Detroit. There's only one queen in Detroit.
Right, Martha Jean Steinberg.
And that's Aretha Franklin, who's our guest here today on the Voice of America, and I'm just in awe as I sit here and I talk to you and look at you. I mean, I've been listening to your music, ever since I was a little kid, and you look beautiful.
Thank you.
I mean, I don't know what the secret is. I want to find out that secret.
Thank you very much.
You do. You look great.
Well, I started very young.
Well, you're still young. Not at heart. I think that's the key.
And I am. And you're right.
Now, what is the best advice you ever got? Who gave it to you?
The best advice that
Best
I
advice
ever
you ever
got?
got? Because you
Oh,
worked with
I
them
got a
all.
lot of good
Yeah.
advice. But I think, let me think about that one. I'll come back to it.
Okay, another
Okay.
tough question for
All
you.
right.
When they make the Aretha Franklin store,
Mm-hmm.
who do you want to play Aretha Franklin?
I don't know. We've been trying to figure that out for a good little while now. Usually, when you find the actress that you like, a Halle Berry, she's not a singer. Or if you find a Fantasia, she doesn't have the Oscar like Halle Berry does for acting. She doesn't have the same credentials. So usually, when you find one, you can't find the other. That's what makes it so hard. So we're still looking, and we'll find just the right person.
Jennifer Hudson?
Maybe. We met for tea. We'll see.
Have I read somewhere that you have actually dined with the Queen of England. Is that true?
No, but I have a standing invitation to have tea at the Queen's tea party.
Fantastic.
Yes.
I'm sure you're welcomed by all royalty around the world if you just accept the invitations.
Well, I've been fortunate in getting royal invitations.
Let's see what.
I can't wait to get back to London to go to the palace. I passed there nightly when I was flying. It was back in '82. And we did the Royal Variety Show, and Prince Charles and Lady Di were there.
Mix these two together.
I used to pass the palace on the way to the concert nightly. So I can't wait to get back to London. I did get an invitation to do the Queen's Silver Jubilee several years, but at that point I'd stopped flying, and I was so disappointed. I really was.
Well, I've got to ask you because it's come up a couple times. Why did you stop flying? What made you change?
I just had a very bad flight, and one of those little two-engine planes. I didn't know that you really shouldn't fly those planes. You stay on the jets. You ride the jets. Don't fly those planes. No one told me that. And I was in a hurry to get home from Atlanta in '83. And they said, well, this is all that's available. I said, well, we'll take that. You know, a plane is a plane. What's the difference? No one told me. And what a time we had coming home.
I imagine.
So at that point, I knew why the Pope kissed the ground. I said, okay, I understand what that's about now.
So you're going to stay
when I get to Metropolitan Airport, I'm going to kiss the ground there, and I'm not getting back on. And since then, I haven't. But at this point, I'm ready to get back on that. I'm ready.
I'm sure a lot of people around the world are happy to hear that, because that means that they'll have a chance to see you in person.
And I'll have a chance to visit their wonderful countries and see some of the areas that I've always looked at on the Travel Channel that I didn't go to, and to dine in Austria and Vienna and things like that. I'm really looking forward to that.
Who was the greatest influence in your life?
The greatest influence,
your dad?
Perhaps, yes. My mentors are Clara Ward and Reverend James Cleveland, as well as my dad, Art Tatum.
All right, let's check out this lip.
And Oscar Peterson, genius pianist, and Horowitz I love.
Do you write a lot of music yourself?
I have, and back in the day, as they say, back in the day at Atlantic, I wrote a lot of my things then. I'm writing less. I decided just a day or so ago, you stop writing. You need to start writing more. Start writing again. So I'm going to start writing again.
Is that, I mean, if that's on your to-do list, what else is on the to-do list? What other things?
To-do list. To do, let's see, I'm going to a conference in New York. We get over there with Juanita Bynum, Dr. Juanita Bynum, and Star Jones, and what's his name? He is a contributor to CNN, Roland Martin. It's part of this conference, business conference, how-tos, how to make $10 trillion. So I'm going to this conference really just to say hello and just to see what they have to say.
And you'll tell them how to make $10 trillion. Now, the Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin, is our guest on The Voice of America. And, well, I should call you Dr. Queen, I guess, because you've been a doctorate twice. You were given a doctorate.
I have 6 doctorates.
Oh, 6 doctorates. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
I mean, Did you ever imagine that would?
Didn't know that. Did y'all know that?
Berkeley School of Music, you'd be Dr. Franklin.
That's right, or Wayne, or Bethune-Cookman.
University of Detroit.
Yes, or yes, that's right. UD, that's correct. No, I didn't. But those are wonderful surprises along the way. You never know what the Lord has in store for you.
Besides music, what other passions in Aretha Franklin's life? Besides your children and your family, I know that's very important to you. What are the things you like to do?
All sorts of things. I love tennis. We just went out.
Getting there.
And watched a couple of matches this summer. I didn't get a chance
See.
to play any, but got a chance to say hello to Billie Jean and meet her. And I love that match between she and Bobby Riggs.
Oh, yes.
Oh, that was
Battle of the Sexes.
Yeah, and I just saw her on Oprah just a few days ago. She and Gloria Steinem and a number of other wonderful women. What else? Cooking, certainly.
Mm-hmm.
Music, forever. I still love to travel.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the dance, the prima ballerina, Arthur's Company, Alvin Ailey, the Joffrey Ballet. I love all of those companies. Let's see, what else? I had a beautiful invitation to come to the Metropolitan Opera, and for the opening season, I think, what is her name? Wonderful singer. Just can't think of her name right now. But unfortunately, I'm going to miss that. I won't be able to hear her.
Okay.
Have you thought about writing a book?
A book, yes. I had my memoirs about 10 years ago, and I'm just going to pick up where I left off and do a continuation of my memoirs.
That's probably your publisher.
It is. Yes, this is my publisher calling right now. That's my phone. This is on the Christmas album. This is how it starts.
Oh, so we're going to get a concert?
Okay.
Music?
Hello, whoever's watching.
That's wonderful.
I can't
That's a
see
great
your
group.
name, but I want to say hi. This is a tribute to Aretha. I'm doing one of the many looks.
She sings a lot on the Kennedy Center Honors. They have her a lot. Just can't think of her name right now. I really wanted to hear that. Mm-hmm.
And you're gonna, when is your memoir part 2 going to be published?
Part 2, it's will start probably in February, and so I think by September it will be ready for the market.
That's fantastic. How about acting? We all know you from Blues Brothers.
Acting, yeah.
You've been in quite a number of other films and
I had a couple
TV
of
shows.
nice things, the Blues Brothers.
Okay, I'm going to do my lashes.
I'm really looking for something very meaty, something really meaty, a very strong supporting part.
I don't need to add lashes.
What would you like to do?
Maybe I like the dramatic comedy. Maybe some things like Doris Day, things that she did, I liked a lot. That kind of thing, or it could be autobiographical. It could be that. It could be almost anything really good.
How about stage? Broadway?
Broadway. I would love to do Broadway, and I've had many offers to do Broadway, but their scheduling and how I work are just not compatible. They're just not. So if you ever see me on Broadway, you will know that a new standard has been set. Okay?
And what about, you're great on stage and great in film, and you've done Blues Brothers now, and so musicals, that's kind of where you want to stay, in the musical genre. You do something singing, not any dramatic acting.
I do. I don't want to play myself.
Right,
I like to play a character.
Now, tell me about your personality, off stage and out of the limelight. Are you kind of reserved, quiet? Are you a perfectionist?
Is this a jigsaw puzzle or what?
We're trying to put together
Aretha Franklin. What's really going on here? Do you have the puzzle? Is the puzzle coming together here? Okay.
I want to know more about you. Our listeners want to, it's not often we get a chance to...
There's not a lot left to know. It's not a lot left to know.
No?
No.
Well, you seem like such a down-to-earth person who, I mean, to have established what you've established, and you're so friendly, warm, and approachable. I think, diva. When I hear that word diva, when you hear the word diva, what comes to your mind?
Diva. One who is very grand.
Okay, now they do that.
One who has major
This
credentials.
out. The mirror.
Who has sometimes been called difficult.
Here.
That kind of thing. I think prima donna, that kind of thing. I suppose I could be that, but only when one is being unfair to me, and then I could do another number. But I prefer just to be who I am and just do my thing, and like if I said, not become a star.
Well, you are a very sweet person. I can tell. I can
Thank
see.
you.
And I'm just curious, the shows when people come to see Aretha Franklin in concert with the orchestra, what kind of things? You're not going to dance ballet, but what other kinds of things?
Would you like to see me do a pirouette?
I would love to see it.
Okay. In there. Okay.
All right, now.
What's the show? Is it
the show? Concert. I'm doing all of the hits. Doing some new things. Some things that, pardon me, have been at the top of the charts.
Catching a
Don't
cold.
Touch My Body, Mariah. The Christmas things, a lot of things from the new Christmas album.
Let's see.
I'm doing lots of surprises. Try to have a little something for everybody, but always the hits.
Yes.
I got an email from a listener in Germany, and they want to know who's zooming who? What's zooming in Aretha Franklin's movie?
Who's zooming who?
Who's zooming who? What's zooming mean?
Well, right now, I don't know anybody who's zooming anybody. Not lately, anyway. Well, there's a few folks out there that are still fooling them, though.
Oh, you're funny. I love your music. I love you. You're great.
Thank you.
And I know that you're Whitney Houston's godmother. So what can you tell us about her new album? What's going on with that?
Well, right now, everything is on the QT. I just can't talk
tell me.
about it.
Can't tell me anything. Not even a little secret, just between you and I.
Yeah,
no one else.
When we go off the air.
Oh, okay.
I'll tell you something. When we go off.
What's the next album for Aretha Franklin?
The next
After
album
Christmas.
would be Aretha, A Woman Falling Out of Love, coming out in the spring.
What's that album going to be about?
And it's just a number of different things. Some that I wrote, some that my son wrote, some that were written by two really very, very good writers. I'm trying to think of their names right now because it's been a good little while since I addressed that album. And it's kind of been on the back burner. Troy Taylor. And he's terrific. He's just absolutely terrific as a writer and producer.
Who else do you like now these days in music? I mean, when you listen, you say,
I love Neo. I love the way he writes. And I like music. Soul Child. I love the way he writes. Great writers and producers as well. Let's see, who else do I like? Puffy has done some things that I like. I like the beat on Ludacris. The beat. I like the beat.
Right.
Okay. I'm not speaking of the lyrics.
like it.
I'm talking about the beat, rhythm, and all of that.
Kanye. You got a new album.
Yeah, okay. And, excuse me. Who else do I like?
I had Estelle on the show, and she was telling me that she takes offense to people like Amy Winehouse being called R&B.
Okay, I wouldn't say Amy Winehouse is R&B. I wouldn't say that. Her band is. Her backup group is. They get down, down, down. I mean, they get down. I love the group and these moves and everything they got. They got some cold-blooded moves. But I wouldn't say she's R&B.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, so...
Excuse me.
No, you have influenced so many people, and touched so many different lives in so many different ways, and I counted over 40 albums. That's what I counted, and that was all that was listed, but there are more albums than that. And so, I mean, as an artist who's always coming up with ideas, always trying to reinvent yourself, always coming up with ways to put something new out and different, that must be, I mean, one of the biggest challenges you face. What are the biggest challenges for you?
The biggest challenges for me is trying to figure out what to cook for dinner nightly, you know, just night after night. What is it going to be tonight?
You don't actually cook your own dinner, do you?
Oh, please. I do my own washing, my own cooking, my own ironing, all of that.
No.
Yeah. So,
See, now there's something nobody would know.
You have to figure, what is it going to be tonight? I did that last night. That's the hardest thing right there.
Wow. And your kids, I mean, do you spend a lot of time with the kids? Because I know, having grown up with Teddy, you know, he told me that you were always busy. You were always on the road.
Not always, no. Half the time. Half the time. I made a point of being at home half the time and in concert half the time. And I thought that worked very well for our family.
That's great. I mean, that's wonderful. You put your family, you know, priority.
Oh, definitely.
And so, next step for you after this, you got the new album coming out in the spring, and then beyond that, a flight, international touring.
Yes, I'm waiting for a first draft of the autobiography for the movies. I've met with producers, and I spent 2 or 3 days just talking to them. So I'm waiting for the first draft just to see what we have. And hopefully by that time, I will know who's going to play me.
And career highlight. What's your career highlight been so far?
My career highlight has been, I think, the Congressional Medal of Honor, along with my Grammys. Yeah.
It's unbelievable. I mean, all the achievements and accolades, a result of your hard work and all your tremendous accomplishments. And you've given us so many great songs and hits, and a lot of songs that I'm sure the world will not know that were taken off albums that came out that you probably have archived somewhere. And maybe one day we'll all be lucky enough to hear those songs. Any surprises along the way for you that you thought, well, you know, I knew you were waiting. I didn't think that song was going to be it, but there was a huge surprise.
That was fabulous. George came to Detroit, and we had a really cool time on the set. He was a cool guy. Yeah, my sister just fell head over heels in love with him. Yeah, real cool guy.
Do you have a favorite song of your collection?
All of them are my favorites. They're all my favorites. I don't have any one favorite. They're all my favorites.
Unbelievable. What a catalog. What a great list of songs. I mean, we're so lucky and honored to have the Queen of Soul here at the Voice of America in D.C.
so much again.
What a pleasure it's been to speak to you, to meet you, the actual person behind the legend. I mean, I've obviously been trying for so long to get an interview with you, through your son, through any means I could, bribery, whatever. And it's an honor to meet you in person.
Thank you so much.
And to have an opportunity to have you.
It's my pleasure to be with you this afternoon. The Voice of America. I've always heard so much about it, and now here I am.
For both of us.
Yeah.
And I wanted to give you a chance to say hi to the troops as well, who are tuned in and watching right now, listening. So you just look at the camera and you can say,
hi guys, take care of yourselves. We appreciate, and certainly I don't speak for everyone, but I do speak for myself, family, and all of those that I know who really do appreciate the giving of yourself and the way that you have to go and be there for your country. Just stay well, trust in God. Everything will turn out all right. Try God.
And remember, ladies and gentlemen, this Christmas,
I think I did a good job.
Get the album.
Yes, pick up the album at Borders Books exclusively, or Walden's Books. It's called This Christmas, and it's my new Christmas album.
And you're listening to the Voice of America and watching VOA Television, and thank you again for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, can I get a couple IDs?
Sure thing.
Thank you so much for doing it, and you guys for being so patient.
Okay.
If you could just look at the camera, you're watching the Voice of America. I'm Aretha Franklin, you're watching the Voice of America.
Hello, I'm Aretha Franklin, and you're watching the Voice of America.
Perfect. and one that you're listening to American Gold. This is for radio, not TV, so do it with the camera. You're listening to American Gold.
Hi, I'm Aretha Franklin, and you're listening to American Gold.
Well, we are all thrilled tonight, of course, to be in the company of pop music royalty. This woman went from her father's
All right,
choir
now I get to do the
worldwide
hair.
superstardom. Along the way,
Can I
created
show
some of the
y'all?
memorable songs of the past 40 years. It is a true pleasure.
The
to
picture.
welcome Queen of Soul, Miss Aretha Franklin. I tell you something, it is not every day you get Aretha Franklin on your show, and you're here, we wanted everything to go smoothly, and the biggest screw up in 9 years happens downstairs.
What was it? I didn't know what was it.
You weren't even watching the show, were you?
What happened?
What show were you watching
I
backstage?
was doing my makeup. What happened?
We had a little blow up when I had to take off all my clothes and I got
Oh.
completely naked.
Okay.
You missed it. I'll tell you.
So that's what I saw on the monitor.
Okay.
Just a little bit of that. I was saying,
No, not a little bit of anything. You-
that. Well, no, I wasn't saying that. Not by
This
any
is not going well.
Yes, it is. It's going better than you think.
Yes, it is. First of all, I want to start off by happy birthday.
Thank
Your
you.
birthday was when? 2 days ago?
Yes, 2 days ago. And
Happy birthday.
thank you very much. The big 4-0.
The big 4-0.
Big
huh?
4-0.
Okay.
Yes.
Did you have a nice party? Did you do anything fun?
Actually, I had a very quiet day. I listened to a little Chopin and Maria Callas, and I
Let's
had
see.
a fitting at
This
6 o'clock.
Go
I had
down.
cake. The hotel sent me a beautiful cake up, and
I'm almost
Yeah,
there.
that's nice. Some people like to be a little low key about it, not go. I like a lot of attention and a lot of God, you're great.
Sometimes,
Whatever happens.
yeah, sometimes you like a party, but I just wanted to be quiet.
So today I'm reading about you, and a lot of the things I knew. What I did not know is you have 17 Grammys. 17
Okay.
Grammys. That's just
I thought you were going to say children.
oh, no.
No.
17 Grammys.
Yes.
What do you do with 17 Grammys? Where do you
What
keep
do you
them?
do?
First of
You,
all,
you put them in a beautiful display cabinet and keep them all polished up at night.
I think when you have like 4 or 5 or 1,
Then
you
I
can keep in a
turn
cabinet.
this-
If you got 17, I'd have
this
5 in the
away.
cabinet. I'd be using the rest around the house for craft projects.
Who's?
Just smashing walnuts with them.
No. Oh, yeah, like seasonings. Sure. Boom.
Exactly,
A
right.
little Grammy seasoning. Boom.
Yeah.
Right. No.
You like to cook, you could use
I
it as an
love
implement.
to cook. I love to cook.
What do you like to
Yes.
cook?
Everything. Indian, soul, you name
You like barbecue too. You cook a good
it. Love
barbecue.
barbecue.
Do you have like a secret recipe or anything like that, or do you just pretty much you're keeping that to yourself?
Actually, no, you men are the ones that have secret recipes for barbecue sauce, right?
We just put
They
beer
don't
in
ever
it.
wanna
Our
tell you.
secret
They
recipe is that needs more beer and
They don't
vodka.
ever want to tell you what's in it.
Yeah.
But no, I just put mine in a little white vinegar water just to make it tender.
Right.
And it's falling off the bone. Once you take it off the grill, it's all off.
Please make me some of that since I have such a weakness for good
Okay.
barbecue. I'm
Tribute
gonna start
to
crying like a baby.
Aretha.
I'll do that.
I'm gonna hold you to that. I'm going to your house
I'll do
sometime,
it.
ringing the doorbell and saying, "Where's my barbecue?" And security guards will take me away.
You're going to get a FedEx box full of barbecue.
No, I sent you some pulled pork through the mail. That is not a good way to do it.
Somebody sent me some chitlins through FedEx.
Oh, they did? You're like, I didn't open it for a couple of weeks, and then I got around to
It
it.
looks so strange. No thanks.
You know, you're in this very rare category where you're just, all you have to do is say the first name. Aretha is here. I think only you and I are in this category.
There's only 2 of us left.
There's only 2 Queens of Soul left, and it is us. It's true. You just hear Aretha's here, and no one ever. Aretha's going to sing tonight. No one ever says which one.
Go this way.
You know, Aretha McGillicuddy.
No. What's a
Aretha
family? It's a family.
Rabinowitz,
It's a
maybe.
family name. It's a family name.
You are going to fly soon for the first time in 20 years, and I want to ask you about this because I've read this
Okay,
about
get
you.
this
You
right.
do not like to fly. You don't fly.
Well, I have not flown since 83.
1983. What happened in 80? Was it just a bad meal?
19 years.
19 years.
No, just a prop plane, a small prop plane with 2 engines. Couldn't get anything else out of Atlanta. And what did I do that for? Big mistake.
And so it was kind of a rough flight. You thought,
I'm doing all this. I'm supposed to put on my,
now you're going to
make
get
me
on the
a
plane.
bow
What's so
tie.
important?
So,
What's so important? Well, you don't get invitations to the palace every day. So
You were invited to Buckingham Palace.
yes.
This is amazing.
Yes.
To perform for...
I should have bought one.
That's amazing.
I just found this picture the last minute.
Anniversary and Golden Jubilee, and there will be 15,000 invited guests in the garden of the palace. That's kind of small garden,
Right.
and pyrotechnics, everything, and then a reception for the artists after the performance in the palace.
That is such a thrill.
So,
What are you going to do to prepare for this flight? Are you going to do anything?
Is it okay if I say Northwest Airlines has worked with me and
If I get paid something, sure.
how much?
Because I love Northwest Airlines.
Well, no, seriously.
Alright, let me take this out.
Northwest Airlines is going to help you?
They are helping.
What are they going to do?
Like classes, putting on like classes for me. They have flight simulation that they're going to set up for me in Minneapolis.
You're going to get the
Tribute
flight
to-
simulator
Like
to
that.
prepare for
Yes,
this.
exactly.
You know, some people, I have friends that take a pill. And I don't want to get into names.
Yeah,
That's for the authorities, but they'll take a pill. And, you know, it's a pill that people get it from their doctor's prescription. And I have one friend that does it, and the wings could be falling off. She'd be giggling away.
Yeah,
like,
no, look at that.
you know, I mean,
No pill.
no
If
pill.
you
That's
have to
good.
fly like that, you shouldn't.
Good for you.
Yeah.
That's good. All right. Like flight simulator, that's going to be a strange
I
experience.
suspect once I get back home, everything is going.
Yeah. Well, you're
I
on a
have a
jet.
ring on, but I'm gonna leave the ring out.
Yeah. Get back on the horse.
Yes.
All right. You are coming back to sing for us at the show. This is a real. What are you going to sing for
Alright,
us?
hold on.
Freeway.
Freeway. Very nice. We'll take a break, but you know what? It is a true pleasure to meet you. We're also grateful that you could make it here
I'm
tonight.
delighted.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Thanks for
Aretha
having me.
Franklin. Well, very nice to have you. Who's going to sing? Stick around.
Never buy an expensive ink cartridge again with the EcoTank all-in-one super tank printer from Epson. It's completely cartridge-free and comes with up to 2 years of ink in the box. Epson EcoTank, the #1 best-selling super tank printer.
Everything will happen. Well, they just can have a little serving of banana pudding because that's all we're giving you. But I can't just eat a little. I will want to then go back to the bowl.
Yeah. Well, that's what happens. And when you're trying to diet, if you get off of that, I'm off of it for 3 or 4 days. You know, you just go on eating the wrong thing. So it's better for me to just try to stay on it and stay on it as long as I can stay on it.
That's
Yeah,
hard.
it's not easy, and I'm sure you know.
Does it bother you though?
Bother me?
Yeah. Does it bother you? Like, you know, I'm bothered by it. Like some people say, just go ahead, keep the weight on, and let
You
it be
mean,
okay.
the additional pound? Sure.
Yeah,
it does.
Do you feel better when you're at a certain weight?
I do. I have what I call a singing weight. Have just a feel-good weight that's light, and you don't feel belabored and like you're dragging all of this weight around. Yeah,
What's your singing weight?
about well, I like.
Honey,
You can sing at any weight, but
let's see
I
what he said.
particularly like about 160.
Really?
Yeah,
Now,
it does change and affect the tone.
does it?
Yeah.
I thought you didn't. But maybe it doesn't
He
pick up.
told me to stay that way. He told me to stay that way.
I hear the difference.
In your own voice.
Yeah.
The weight goes up and down. Now, do you
What
eat,
he
do you
say?
eat or
What he
weight
say?
comes on out of what? Frustration, anxiety, too much stress,
What
depression?
I think
overwhelm?
after concert,
My love.
mostly mine was
I
most
guess I
critical
would do
time
some
for me is
pictures.
after concert.
Some pictures.
You've worked up a lot of energy and you are hungry when you come on.
I created a
And,
week.
little taco
Recycling.
just doesn't work.
A tribute to her.
Not work.
Okay.
Aretha talks
All
about
right,
a lot
so
of different people in the book. Smokey
this
Robinson,
is my
for
number
example.
one, my
You say
first
is my
look
forever friend.
for
Work
her.
down the street.
Yeah.
Y'all used to sing
During
together.
this time.
Not really, but before Smokey became
I found
the
that
Smokey
last
Robinson and the Miracles, he and my brother were best friends, Cecil, and they used to come by and show Irma, my sister, and myself their routines. They knew that we
All
were
right,
big,
y'all.
big fans of the Flamingos,
Please
so they
pass
wanted
it
us to
around.
see and critique their
Pass
routines,
it.
and we would give them little tips and
Share it.
tell them, no, don't do it like that, move like
And
this,
next,
don't do
I
that,
don't know,
do it like
sometime
this, you know,
soon.
that kind of thing.
Be on the
Dinah
lookout.
Ross,
I will
Springs, the
post
Four
another
Tops,
one
and, Jackie
once I
Wilson, all
get
of them. All of you
the
guys in the
clothing
same neighborhood
together.
Yeah, and be
And the
careful,
wigs
don't touch me up
together.
top here.
I'll be posting again tribute to her.
Okay.
I love y'all.
Hi,
You go to
Di.
my patrons, patreon.com, Rachel Pope
As
page.
I was saying,
Okay, I posted up
okay,
here.
Doyle did that.
But this
Aretha
is a
writes
look.
about a number of different passionate romances,
Get that lip together.
which I'm not getting in all them here today. But would she get married again?
Absolutely. I love being married.
You love being married, yeah.
I love being married.
I'm really
Absolutely.
very, very domestic. You are.
Yes, I am. When I leave
I'm
the
not
stage,
domestic.
I leave with theatrics on stage, and I am very domestic at home.
I know you appear to be from the book that
Yeah.
you're cooking, you're
Yeah.
cleaning
Totally
up,
opposite.
when you don't have to be doing
Anyway.
that. You know.
No,
A little longer
but I
prosperous.
do.
You
In
can have somebody
comments.
make you some banana pudding.
What's your favorite Aretha
Yeah.
picture
You
there?
just some
Let's
things
see
you don't
if I
feel
can
like
do
other
that.
people can
Okay.
do in the
Peace.
way that you want it
And
done.